friends, welcome to our chapter reading. We are starting a new book today. This book is called Snow Day. The authors, it has two authors, are Marsha Thornton Jones and Debbie Dady. The illustrator, the person that drew the pictures, is Amy Woomer. So we are going to check out this book and I'm excited to get into it with you. So chapter 1 is called Snow Diamonds. "This is not good," my friend Woodrow said as a white flake landed on his nose and a gust of wind blew back his droopy ears. Being a basset hound, his ears were always droopy, but today his tail was drooping too. "Not good at all." "What is this stuff?" Bubba asked. Bubba tried to bite a flake but missed. I wagged my tail. Being older gave me the advantage over my little pup friend Bubba. It also helped that I was a wonder dog. "This," I said with all the wisdom of my 2 years of life, "is snow." Bubba, Woodrow, and I watched the snow twirl around the playground of Barkley's School for Dogs. The grass sparkled with snow diamonds. Don't get me wrong, I would much rather be watching the snowfall from my apartment window with my human Maggie. But Maggie had this idea that school would teach me to be even better than I already was. Barkley's School for Dogs wasn't such a bad place to be. The human named Fred Barkley made sure there was plenty to do. The play yard was filled with tunnels to dash through, a teeter-totter to balance on, and bars to jump over. "It's beautiful," Bubba whispered. "Will the snow break if we walk on it?" I laughed. "Are you kidding? Watch this." I took a flying leap across the yard and slid on my shaggy tail a good 3 feet. My ears flew out behind me as I zipped along. There's a picture of them out in the snow. Bubba raced across the frozen ground and slid on his furry behind. "Growlific!" he shouted. "Dog awesome," said my buddy, a beagle named Floyd. He ran up behind Bubba. "That looks like fun." "It seems dangerous to me," Blondie said, trotting up beside Floyd. Blondie was the most beautiful white poodle I'd ever hoped to lay my eyeballs on. Her white coat almost disappeared into the snow. I guess that's why her human had given her a blue sweater with black fur around the neck. A little chihuahua named Casanova trotted under my belly. "Slip sliding in snow is bad, very bad," he said. I looked between my legs and noticed that Casanova was bundled in a yellow sweater. Here's all the dogs sliding in the snow. Even Bubba had on a sweater today. It was bright red against his black and brown chubby puppy body. Floyd had on a sweater too. I shook my head in disgust. I looked around the yard. Rhett and Scarlet, 2 Irish setters, wore matching purple coats. Harry, a Westie, would have blended in with the snow if it hadn't been for his polka-dotted sweater. In fact, besides me, Woodrow was the only other dog that wasn't dressed for snow. Woodrow was the oldest hound at the Barkleys. He was also the smartest. The fact that he didn't have on a coat proved I didn't need one. "It's not that cold out here," I teased my friends. "We're dogs. We already have built-in coats." "My human made me wear it. It's not my fault," Bubba said before sliding across the playground on his hind end again. "Yippee!" "I wouldn't mind wearing a sweater or two," Woodrow said through chattering teeth. "It's colder out here than the freezer at the ice cream shop, and it's getting even colder. I warned you this was going to be bad." "I'm glad my human dressed me for winter," Floyd said. "I'll stay warm enough to let me try this sliding stuff." There's more of the dogs. Floyd ran across the play yard. His paws slid out from under him and he landed on his chin. He slid right into the brick wall nose first. "Ouch!" he yelped. "Are you all right?" Blondie said, rushing up beside Floyd. Floyd nodded weakly. "I've had enough fun for one day. I think I need something to chew on." Floyd almost always had a chew toy in his mouth. "Not me," Bubba yipped and caught a few snowflakes in his mouth. He laughed when they melted. "I think snow is better than chew toys. It's better than yum-yums. It's better than bouncy balls. I wish it would snow, snow, and snow some more. Enough to cover every square inch of Barkley School for Dogs." Woodrow stopped Bubba's yapping. "Be careful what you wish for," Woodrow warned. "You just might get it." Chapter 2, Out of Control. A long shadow fell over my friends and me, and the air felt even icier. We looked up into the snarling face of Sweetcakes, the meanest Doberman pinscher this side of the North Pole. "That pup doesn't have enough sense to come in out of the cold," Sweetcakes said as she watched Bubba run through the snow. "No sense, no sense," a short bulldog named Clyde said. Every evil villain has a sidekick, and Clyde was Sweetcakes. There always was something about Sweetcakes that made all the hair on my back go rigid. "Bubba will come in when he's had enough fun," I said with a good mix of snarl. Sweetcakes curled up a lip to show her yellow tooth. "Normally, I'd make you regret what you just said," she growled. I knew she could do it too. After all, she didn't lose part of an ear in a fight by being dainty. I took a step back and my paw sank in the snow. There's Sweetcakes. She looks mean. Sweetcakes tossed her head and sniffed. "Today, you aren't worth the trouble," she said. "Yeah, trouble," Clyde added. Sweetcakes turned and trotted through the snow to the back door. Clyde struggled through the snow to catch up with her. As soon as Sweetcakes barked, Fred Barkley swung open the door. Fred owned the school. He was also Sweetcakes' human. Fred was nice, but he could be clueless sometimes. After all, he thought Sweetcakes was the best dog in the world. Fred scratched Sweetcakes' tattered ear and smiled. "What's the matter?" he asked. "You're not letting a little snow bother you, are you?" Just then, Bubba took another flying leap across the yard. He slid on his tail. Unfortunately, he was going too fast. There's Sweetcakes getting a nice pet on the ear from Fred. "Watch out!" I howled as a warning. Too late. Bubba, out of control, was heading straight for Fred and Sweetcakes. Sweetcakes barked a warning. She tried to hop out of Bubba's way. When she did, her paws hit a slippery spot and flew out from under her in 4 different directions. Sweetcakes sprawled on the ground just as Bubba crashed into her side. I gulped. Blondie whimpered. Floyd covered his eyes with his beagle ears. Sweetcakes growled. "You're such a cute pup," Fred said, ignoring Sweetcakes. Fred reached down and scooped up Bubba. Bubba turned into a bundle of wiggles as Fred scratched the pup's ears. "This snow is fun stuff, isn't it?" he asked Bubba. Bubba licked Fred's nose, his chin, his forehead, and he was going for his ears when Fred laughed and put Bubba back on the ground. "Enjoy it while you can," Fred said. Then he turned to go back inside. Bubba bounded across the yard and jumped in a pile of snow. "That was a close call," Blondie said. Floyd nodded. "I thought Sweetcakes would turn Bubba into a chew toy," he added. Woodrow shook his head, dragging his ears across the deepening snow. "Sweetcakes would never misbehave in front of Fred, but Fred's not around now. Bubba better beware." There's Sweetcakes after Bubba ran into her. She looks pretty mad. All right, that's all for chapters 1 and 2 of Snow Day. Join me back next time and we'll get into chapters 3 and 4.